Jina langu ni Vincent Boom, kutoka Uholand. I am a student at the University of Twente, situated in the Netherlands, and for the last 3 months I have been here at an exchange program at DeKUT University of Technology. As my specialization is within robotics and bionics engineering, I have decided to take my internship here to create a robotic system which allows students to interactively learn about robot theory while simultaneously allowing researchers to develop and test new robotic control methods. And I think over the last 3 months I have really gained a lot of experience and insight based on this exchange. I chose for DeKUT initially because of the Mechatronics bachelor that they offer here, which fits my profile really well, because in Europe normally there is no specific mechatronics studies. This is usually an integrated part in the mechanical engineering studies. So I was really excited to come here. Now, life around the university has been quite an interesting experience. The first weeks, of course, you really got to acclimatize both to the climate, to the people and to your living conditions. But after that, you really start to notice how your original living environment might be different from the one you are currently in. But this offers a perspective and also shows you the relative strengths and weaknesses of where you come from and how that might be different from here. DeKUT itself, compared to the university where I come from, being the University of Twente, is significantly more practically oriented, I would say. So for our university, students are taught from the ground up in the deep theory how certain applications come to be as an engineer. However, this is often associated also with the fact that in practice it's difficult to translate this theory into something useful, although it's very important to know the underlying reasons why something happens. Now here in DeKUT, although this theory is also taught, more effort is put into the practical applications that we have seen with the many labs around here and all the students doing these practicals and things like this, which I think is very beneficial. DeKUT tries to balance this by also giving students more time. So where a normal European bachelor might be 3 years, the one at DeKUT might be 5. Now I don't want to give an opinion on if that's better or worse, but it's a way in which you can apply both or give both theoretical knowledge and practical insight for these students. Outside of my academic activities, I've of course also been very much busy with other things, activities. I have joined the Climb to Educate Association, which plans to raise funds for students which are not able to pay maybe their student fees due to circumstances. And we raise this money by climbing Mount Kenya. So I'm really excited for that opportunity for me to climb the mountain and simultaneously knowing that I will be able to help other people. Now that activity has also been a lot of fun, get to know new people. I've been learning the Kiswahili language, which has been tremendous fun and also really useful for me when I go out and go to the market to bargain for some fruit or anything of the likes. And also it shows maybe to people here that I really do intend to follow and learn about their culture instead of staying in my own bubble. Apart from that, of course, the opportunity to travel the country has been amazing, and I also want to thank the International Office for that and their willingness to help us with getting reduced student fees for all these international parks. And when I say we, I mean all the international students that are here and have come before me. It has been really beneficial for us to see what Kenya is all about in its full diverse glory. I was also asked the question if I would see DeKUT as the ideal exchange destination. And for that I think it really depends on the student, because just like in any relationship, the student and the university, they have to click, right? They have to have these shared characteristics. If you are maybe someone that wants to explore an entirely new culture and you want to perform research on your own, and you know what you want to do, then I really recommend DeKUT and try out something new for once, I would say. However, if you are like it better to be a bit guided and you want to do maybe something that really fits the European model of education, then I might recommend you to really consider if DeKUT is the place for you. But again, if you're ready for it and you really want to take a leap, I would highly recommend looking into this opportunity. The culture itself within Kenya, I think its richness and its contrast to the European culture has been very interesting and beautiful in a sense. For example, the food. Here every day, every time of the day, like 2 times a day you eat warm, maybe 3 if you're lucky. And then we have all these beautiful meals like ugali, no I forget. What's the rice again? I always, pilau. So ugali, pilau, all these things, kamande, stew. I really like the rich flavors that we have here, and again the opportunity to eat warm this many times a day. It took some getting used to, because for me I only normally eat warm when I'm in the evening, but I actually tend to like this over the European manner. Not to get started on the ability to eat out every time. Like it's a luxury for me normally when I get to order something outside of my own home. I had to prepare all my meals myself because everything was so expensive. But here, when you go out, you pay 50 shilling, which is the equivalent of not even €0.50 for a proper meal, which was eye-opening to me, to say the very least. That it was cheaper to actually go out to eat instead of cooking for yourself. Besides that, things I really like about the Kenyan culture is the openness of the people. So what I've seen is that people will just walk up to you and strike a conversation about, hey, I noticed that you may be a bit different, where are you from, what are you doing here? And they really have good intentions all the time, where in Europe, what I notice when I walk along the street, people just ignore you, even if you might know each other, right? You just look away, and it's this very positive and friendly attitude that I've really come to love within the Kenyan people. In terms of like the professional interactions I've had thus far, I've really noted that there's a big difference between European and maybe East African, or more specifically Kenyan way of communicating with one another on a professional level. And I think both have their merits. So where Europeans might be very strict on time, very efficient, they might also be rather stressed about every part of what's going on. Well, in Kenya we have the pole lifestyle, right? Everything can go a little bit slowly. If things are a bit later than we had initially planned to, that's fine, we'll work around it, we'll make it happen. And I think, on one hand, this might be frustrating for someone that comes from Europe, like, oh, why is not everything on time? But it's also something that you can start to think for yourself, like, hey, is it that big of a problem if something is a day late? And is it worth all this extra stress to worry about all that, if in the end it all comes together anyway? So I think it's really important, and for me it was really useful to get this experience where I'm in the minority, in the sense that I really want to push every single second of every single day, that it allows me to see that what I've been the way I've been trying to work for so long, might become a bit more nuanced. So maybe I'll take some of that pole with me back home.